Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Coding Care. Today I'll discuss one of the microservice concept called inter-service communication. So in my previous video, I have already explained the inter-service communication, but that is using web client. Okay, but today I will show how to connect with another services using REST template. So I have already discussed in my previous video what's the difference between REST template and web client. If you do not have watched it, please go for the previous video once, then come to here. Or if you want to use the REST template direct, then it's fine. You can watch this video. But if you want to know what's the difference between REST template and web client, please go to my previous video once. So let's get started. So here one is user service is there, one is phone service is there. In user services, I have created one controller. Inside controller, one create investment API is there. Inside this API, one create account is there. Here I call the fund information by passing the fund ID. Then I get the fund information. After getting the fund information, I calculate these two fields, set unit of purchase and current investment, right? But this is using web client. If you see here, I use web client. Okay, but today I'll discuss how to connect with same API or how I call this API using the REST template. Okay, let's get started. First let me comment this one. Okay, I am commenting this web client, and here also I will commenting this line. Now what I'll do, first we need REST template object, right? So in this config web client config, I have already configuration the web client object. So let me comment this one. Now I'll create the REST template object. How I'll create? Public REST template, then return new REST template. Right now my method is created, make it as bin. Okay, now I'll auto add this REST template. Okay, so here REST template. So here I'll use auto add for field injection, then I'll call this REST template here. Then REST template dot, suppose in web client what I was doing, this was get mapping, right? So I call this get method, then dot URI section I mention the URI. But here in REST template, one method called get for object. So we are using get method, that's why we are calling this method get method. And first one is nothing but URL. Suppose this is my URL, string URL equal to, okay, this is my URL, right? HTTP, this one. I just mention the URL here. Okay, now URL is ready. Here I pass the URL. Now the second is I can mention this is string. Okay, string dot class, it will return string object. Okay, so this is string, this is code, so response it will give. Okay, response. Now what I will do here, if I'll print this out the response, so it will print the string value, but this is string, right? How I'll convert this object? We can use object mapper. Last time we used the object mapper, right? So to convert this string to object, we need object mapper class, right? Object mapper, then I'll inject this one. Okay, now here what I'll do in object mapper, okay, remove this one. Object mapper dot read value, one method is there. Inside there we need to pass the response. This is string value, right? This is response, and I'll convert this string to which class? I'll convert this string to fund class. So I'll mention fund dot class. Now it will return fund object, right? fund info. Now this fund info I'll pass here. Okay, similar kind of thing here. I just call this API using the web client. Here I call this same API using the REST template. Okay, let's start the application. So first start the fund services. So my fund services is running on 9091. Now I will call this user services. Now the user service is running on 9090. So in user controller, in this API I will send the request. So in postman, so if you see here, this is the create investment post API. This is 9090. I'll send this fund ID 1 amount. So if here, if you check, this is get fund, right? So if you'll send this one, I'll get the information of fund information. Same information I collect from the user services. Okay, so just call this API. Yeah, now I got all these things, fund ID, amount. These two things I calculated based on the fund information, right? So this is how we can call the fund services by using REST template. So if you'll see here, this is the URL, right? Here I have hard coded the URL, right? What's the problem if I hard coded the URL? So I hard coded the IP address as well as the port number. Suppose my fund service, now I have one instance. Suppose my fund service has 3 instance. Then how I'll call here? So we can't use like this, right? We can't write the hard code because in 3 instances have 3 different IP and 3 different port number. If I use hard coded, then this is calling the particular method. So how we will overcome this problem using service registry, I will discuss. Thank you.